The massive teachers' rebellion in the southern states continues to spread. This time, as I said, with Oklahoma. They're actually continuing their second day of walkouts that shuttered schools all across the country, all across the state. Now, according to USA Today, the rallies closed the 10 largest school districts in the state of Oklahoma, with at least 234,000 students combined. Now, those schools remain closed on Tuesday, and we don't know how long the strike is going to last. Now, the teachers had recently won raises, averaging of 16%. That's $6,100. And that was signed into law by Governor Mary Fallin. However, that was not enough for those teachers. In fact, some of the teachers, some of the protesters, tell their story. I want to give you some quotes here. Rae Lovelace, a third-grade teacher and a single mother in northwest Oklahoma, said, quote, "If I didn't have a second job, I'd be on food stamps." So, look, man, even if you're a teacher in Oklahoma and you get this raise, it's not enough. It's not enough. In fact, she says that she works 30 to 40 hours a week at a second job just to get by. You know, that's a huge problem. Teachers have, I think, one of the most important jobs. They make sure the next generation is ready for the jobs, or just for society. And if they don't have the tools, if they've got overcrowded classrooms, they don't have the money to be able to teach these students, then they're not going to have the opportunities, and they're not going to be able to lead the country into the next century or into the future. So that's a huge problem. Now, there's another quote from Kimberly Miller. Now, she teaches at Santa Fe High School in Edmond Public Schools. She says, quote, "I try not to cry because it's been a long time coming, this strike. We've gone without textbooks. I'm a science teacher, and I go without proper equipment for labs. I'm happy people are finally starting to see the reality." And the reality is, teachers all across the country are being ignored. But especially in Oklahoma, it's really bad there. In fact, Oklahoma's average teacher salary of $45,276 ranked 49th among states in the District of Columbia before the raises. This is according to the National Education Association. Now, 49th in the nation. That's disastrous. Why would anybody want to be a teacher in Oklahoma? Well, maybe it's because you care about the students and the kids in Oklahoma, and not so much about the pay. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that you don't deserve good pay. And look, a lot of teachers were going over to Kansas. Like, we can't afford to teach in Oklahoma. We want to teach the kids in Oklahoma, but we don't get paid enough. So this strike was definitely needed. Not only that, but they're also fighting for more money for the students as well. The state ranked 47th in public school revenue per student, according to the teachers union. So, look, they're not investing in their teachers. They're not investing in the schools. They're not investing in the students. And look, just go on social media. There are pictures of teachers sharing just absolutely destroyed textbooks. These are the textbooks that they have to work with. Some don't even go past 2008. Like, that's the last decision or last edition that they had. 2008. They stopped when Barack Obama became president. Although, look, 2016, I would definitely, if I were a bookmaker, I'd want to skip those years too. But nonetheless, these teachers have had to take money from their own pockets to be able to go and get the proper school supplies. So, yes, this is way overdue. This is way needed. And look, West Virginia, the most unlikely place. I never would have thought this would have started in West Virginia, but I got to give a lot of credit to those teachers who fought, and they won. And look, they got a 20% pay increase, and now that, of course, has spurred in Oklahoma, Arizona, and now Kentucky. In fact, Kentucky schools were closed on Monday after teachers and other school workers went on strike, with thousands of them flooding the state capitol, chanting, "Stop the war on education." Kentucky lawmakers are debating a new state budget with higher spending on public education, paid for by a 6% sales tax on services that were previously tax-free. Not only that, but they're also upset because the legislature approved a pension overhaul that cuts benefits for new teachers. According to Claudette Green, a retired teacher and principal, quote, "We're madder than hornets, and the hornets are swarming today." Damn. That's pretty strong. Look, man, we would not be in the situation right now with teachers and schools being so underfunded had these states not been under Republican control. Look, Kansas, a lot of other states, but Kansas is the big example. All they did is, okay, we're going to cut taxes on corporations and rich people to the bone, and then it's going to trickle down. It's a great experiment in trickle-down supply-side economics. Well, what happened? They cut taxes, and then the government was starved of revenue. Because that's what happens when you cut taxes. You don't get any more additional funding. There's no economic growth able to sustain funding for things that are necessary. For example, healthcare spending in the states, like Medicaid, for example, and then schools. They don't get the type of funding that they need when the government does not properly tax corporations and wealthy people. So that's the problem. And so you run out of money and you can't do what you need to do. So now, thankfully, because of the strikes, now these Republicans are like, oh, God, we're going to have to raise taxes on something. Something that we thought we would never, ever have to do. But now that's what we're doing. We're raising taxes, and we're going to try to fund teachers. And it's because they fought for this. And so I give all the credit in the world for these teachers that are fighting for not only themselves, of course, they're fighting for their students. And again, it's not like being a teacher is being paid, means being paid glamorously. You've heard, even with some of these raises, you have these teachers that have to work second jobs. It shouldn't be this way. They should be paid for what they do, and they should be paid fairly, and they should be paid enough to where they can focus on teaching and where they don't have to actually raid their own pockets to go and buy school supplies. That is egregious in the wealthiest country in the world that we have teachers that have to do that. So I hope that they continue. I hope these strikes continue to spread so that we can actually get the funding that these educators and these schools and these kids deserve. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.